exactly what did President Karzai ask for?
Well, the statement that he issued today after his meeting with the Secretary of Defense, Leon Panetta, said that he demanded the withdrawal of American forces from the Afghan villages and their stationing inside American bases. Now, he didn't really provide a time frame for that, and it's not clear what it actually means. Does it mean that all combat operations in the villages will stop, or only that he wants the smaller bases that are inside villages to be relocated within larger bases around the country? But in any case, it's a serious blow to the U.S. strategy.
Yaroslav, how is the U.S. likely to respond to this request? I mean, tensions between the two sides have been running pretty heated for quite a while now.
I think the U.S. response so far has been to downplay Mr. Karzai's, President Karzai's comments, to say that while this is all consistent with the common approach of ending combat operations next year and transferring to more of an advisory mission. Now, the administration in Kabul hasn't really clarified what they mean by this statement. So there is a lot of things that are open to discussion right now.
So is this a sign that President Karzai is perhaps feeling the heat from the Taliban, and or maybe the Taliban is winning over the public relations effort within Afghanistan?
It's a sign of his frustration with the U.S. military. It's a sign of him having to respond to public opinion that's been angered by a whole series of missteps. From the burning of the Qurans last month to this very horrific killing of 16 Afghan civilians, most of the women and children, by a rogue U.S. soldier in Kandahar province on Sunday. So he felt like he had, and the Afghans were particularly incensed by the fact that the soldier, this suspect in that shooting, was flown out of the country yesterday, despite Afghan requests to put him on public trial in Afghanistan.
Yaroslav, this is an inauspicious time for President Karzai to make this request, given the traditional start of the spring offensive on the part of the Taliban. Is this going to, is the expectation that we will see any uptick in the internecine violence that takes place?
Well, every year, about this time of the year, as the snows melt in the mountain passes, the fighting season resumes. And yes, everybody expects the violence to pick up dramatically over the course of the next couple of months. Now, the U.S. officials are saying that the U.S. military, as of now, is not making any changes to its campaign plan. So, and many diplomats here in Kabul think that Mr. Karzai is just sort of, in a way, bluffing. He's trying to express his frustration and to maybe put himself in a better negotiating position as he negotiates with the U.S. a strategic partnership agreement, while at the same time probably expecting to back down from these very radical demands that were made today.
Can the U.S. publicly ignore President Karzai? Can they just brush this aside, or do they have to at least acknowledge something of the seriousness of the situation in Afghanistan? Otherwise, their ally Karzai loses credibility with his own people.
Well, Hamid Karzai is the president of Afghanistan, and he's a sovereign country. So at the end of the day, the U.S. and the rest of the international community are there to support the government of Afghanistan. So the government of Afghanistan, at least in theory and on many issues now in practice, does have the final say.